Give it a 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Questlog. It's a weekly show about video games old and new. My name is Tyler Everett. This is June 9th and this is episode 80. Welcome. And joining me as always, it's the illustrious Brian Maxwell. How's it going, man?
You said June 9th and it caught me off guard. It doesn't feel like June 9th yet. I thought, Tyler's fucking this up real bad.
I saw you started shaking your head, and I'm like, no, yeah, man, I double checked it.
Real.
I triple checked it.
All right, have it your way. It's June 9th.
Windows don't lie. It's right there. Also here on June 9th, it's Aaron Crane. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's great, Tyler.
You sound
It's June 9th.
How could it not be?
Breaking news.
Yeah.
What's your reaction?
No,
Luke,
am I
to
the-
June
am I-
9th?
Also surprised by the calendar date, it's Luke Phillips.
See, I was hoping that intro would just play out a little bit longer, then it'd be June 10th.
We are dangerously close.
So you wanted us to spend like 24 minutes talking about it being June 9th before we got to you, Luke, so you'd be like, well, it's June 10th now, idiots.
I think we could probably manage that.
That's episode 80. This is what you all signed up for.
If there's a group that could go on a tangent for 25 minutes about nothing, it's us.
We're your folks. We're the ones to bring that to you.
Tyler, honey,
Yes, dear.
I'm looking at the Twitch feed and it looks like our background is now the outer space.
Oh, you noticed? Yeah, it's space.
Quest log in space.
There's no real correlation either. I just thought that looked dope.
Yeah.
We got a lot of blues going on. I just figured I'd try something new. That's
It's like a brand new podcast.
yeah, switch it up every once and again. Get some cool 8-bit art going in the background.
Looks
don't-
good. I like
16
I
that.
bit.
don't like change.
like everything.
Always one. Hashtag balance.
Hashtag balance.
Yeah. Well, to keep the balance, let's balance this out by talking a little bit about what we've been playing, shall we? Brian, as is tradition, I like to start with you, man.
Yeah.
You got some new stuff in here. Some stuff I hadn't seen before.
I do got some new stuff
Yeah.
here. I'm going to catch up on the old stuff real quick.
Yeah.
I done finished Moonlighter this week.
Oh, you finished it all the way?
Finished it all the way.
That seemed quick.
Yeah, it was about 20 hours. I don't know. A few of that are probably just with the game running. So,
Yeah,
Now,
it's
this came out as a full game and not early access, right?
yep.
full on game.
It's weird, I know, but
Doesn't make any sense in this era.
I've been playing this a lot too, and I think I mentioned last week I use it as kind of like a palate cleanser game. At the end of the night, after I'm done doing terrible things in online multiplayer games, I like to play Moonlighter and just run my shop and go and smash up monsters in a dungeon. It's really good for that.
is this my footage we're watching?
I think this is me.
Okay, 'cause I was gonna say, like, I didn't go the way of the longsword for very long at all.
Oh, I went that
Well,
way
yeah.
as soon as I could and
Yeah,
plan on staying
That
there.
makes sense.
I was punching people like 30 style boxing. Like,
Yeah, that was real cool. Yeah, you use the fist weapons, and it's just like a pair of gloves. You just punch people up. It's pretty good.
Tyler's a very simple man and has 2 check boxes. Can I use sword? And then use sword.
Yeah.
That's really all of his life.
The default is a sword and shield, which I do like as well. But
I
yeah,
ain't blocking. I
yeah,
don't block in games in general.
I always forget to, so I just figured, well, I might as well actually use my secondary ability, which is this cool
Yep.
whirlwind thing that you charge up and attack everything around you. So I've
So
been
what other
It's,
weapons are there in game?
6, 5. There's a spear, sword and shield, two-handed sword, bow, and punching gloves.
mm-hmm.
Is that all of them? Yeah,
Sounds right. Why do I feel like there's maybe one more?
there might be one more.
Anyway, yeah, each one, it's pretty cool. Like, you start off with a base version, and then there's 2 different crafting trees that show up, and you can kind of upgrade the weapon along that path. So what I've tended to notice is there's like a plain version that's just like a stat stick, just has does physical damage and does more than what the other one does. The other path is like condition effects and stuns and things like that, poison and whatnot.
One of the game's little idiosyncrasies that like annoys me slightly is I couldn't find a way to read what those were. I'm just like, oh, this one does 18 damage and it also does circle. So cool.
Yeah.
Circle's probably good.
I started picking up on that.
Damage.
I started picking up on that a little bit. The squiggle, I think, is a stun. I think it dazes people because I was hearing like a little whoop sound happen when I'd hit people.
All right.
And
Sounds like I missed out then.
yeah, you want to be doing circle. It's pretty good.
All right.
But yeah, it seems to stun enemies, and then there's other stuff like poison and fire and whatever, elemental damage, that kind of stuff, and that goes how you'd expect it to. But
I just went with the numbers.
yeah, I'm doing like the sword and board. I'm keeping just the numbers, just like having that be my plain Jane thing, and then for the long sword, I'm going the wacky route and doing like the conditional stuff on it. But yeah,
I went with the punchies and the bow.
Okay.
Sometimes I want some range.
I thought about doing that at first, but then I realized what kind of person I am, and like Krink said, if I can have a sword, I'm gonna, so I'll just do the 2 swords. That'll be fine.
Yeah. 2 swords is better than 1 sword and a bow, right?
Yeah. Sword and shield and a big old sword. Sign me up. That's how all my Skyrim playthroughs go, pretty much always too. Like,
shocking.
Yeah.
Let me guess. Tyler's always a Nord, typically with just a crusty old gray beard.
Correct.
Then,
to be fair, I've literally described this on the show before, so I've given you this information. But yeah, you're not wrong.
Fine.
It's a great guess, though.
Great guess.
You nailed it. Yeah. So, how many hours do you think it took you, like, full total? I heard you say you thought maybe a couple of those were like idle.
Probably 15, 16, somewhere in that range. The story never does go anywhere. Like, the ending is silly. Like, but I don't really care. Just, I don't know. The game world's charming. The combat's good. It's got some nitpicks. It's got some little problems. The inventory system sucks.
I'm starting to... There's an interesting thing that happens a lot with games, and it's like, I think we have certain boxes that we expect games to fall into, and when they don't, there's like a kind of visceral reaction to that. Like I
you assume certain things are going to be there.
Yeah, it happened with you in Sea of Thieves. Like, you thought that game was going to be a certain way, and then when it wasn't, you were just kind of like, this is not, this is not what I thought I was signing up for.
I thought it would have content. Okay.
Sick burn. Well, a lot of people...
I'm just beating Kring to the punch.
I know. Thank you. There you go. But a lot of people had that same reaction to this game. They were like, well, there's nothing to do. What do? You just go and get stuff and sell it. And
it's repetitive. I can understand that criticism. It's valid, but
when we really get down to the nitty gritty of it, aren't all games just repetitive?
Yeah, I think a story is something that you could kind of pin on there as like a thing that is expected in a lot of games. Like, if you started playing God of War and there was never any quests or there was never any dialogue or any of that kind of stuff, you'd kind of probably be like, what am I doing here? Is it just killing dudes? That's it? Yeah, it would feel a little weird, but
I mean, boy is the extent of 90% of the dialogue anyway in that game, so. But
yeah, here I don't really miss it. Gonna drop a hot take on you here. The Zelda style ARPGs, story's never usually the real strong point anyway, so I didn't really miss it here. Like, oh, what's that? The princess is in trouble and the whole world's in danger.
Okay,
Shucks, I guess I'll go do the thing that I'll do every time anyway. explore
the
this
music
world.
and the sound are great, and the visuals
Yes.
are really charming. I enjoyed being in that world. That
Yep.
was enough for me.
Yep. Well, you do spend a lot of time moving stuff around your inventory, though. That is a considerable chunk of the game.
If you could switch to a mouse, for that, that'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't be the worst thing.
It's like entering your email and password with a game controller forever.
Yeah. That part isn't the best, but if you like good music and you like a charming little world and solid gameplay, give that a go. What else you got this week, Brian?
I played more of Where the Water Turns to Wine, or no, Where the Water Tastes Like Wine,
That's what it does.
for maybe an hour or two,
what I do.
and that game just gets more disappointing the more I play it.
That's a bummer.
I wish Supergiant had made this game. Like I love the elevator pitch. I love the idea of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know, like the writing and the voice acting are like 75% of the way there. Like I love what it's trying to do. Just, I don't know, the stories were a little too short to really stick.
Didn't you tell me that you thought Sting did the voices?
He voices somebody in the game. I'm
Okay, all right.
pretty sure. And it's weird because they've got someone who's reading the dialogue. Like you'll be hearing a story or telling a story about, and then the man said this. And they've got the same guy reading the woman's voices too. It's like Monty Python. It's weird,
Gotcha.
It's like, I'm just going to talk high for a minute, and that's what she said. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Just
That reminds me, I listened to there was an audio drama series that came out like right before Legion launched, World of Warcraft expansion Legion. They did this whole like podcast series that was all these audio dramas. They're really good. I really enjoyed them. But it was just one guy doing all the voices, and so he had like, he'd do his Gul'dan voice and switch to like this, sinister kind of sounding voice. But then like the female characters would show up, and I was expecting like, okay, well they'll bring someone else in. Nope, he just got his voice all high like this, and just I was like,
yeah, it's
okay,
a little jarring.
all right.
It's a little jarring.
Really leaning into that.
I don't know, like the video gamey bits kind of started standing out to me because like you tell a story and then you hear the story told back to you from someone else later, and it's different, and it says the story has grown in the retelling, and that's cool. But I started seeing that coming a mile away. Like someone would bring up a story I've already told. I'm just like, oh yep, there it is. There's the retelling of it. It just I don't know, like the video gamey part of it. I'm just like, yep, I'm going to hear this 2 more times, and okay.
Gotcha.
And the walking around the map sucks.
Seems very slow.
It's tedious, and like I love the art, like in the cities and while the stories are being told, but just the look and feel of walking around the map, it's bad.
Neat idea, but just not maybe fully baked, huh?
The execution's not quite there. Yep.
Gotcha. That's a bummer. But hey, what are you gonna do?
I love what it's trying to be.
Sometimes that wine should just stay like water.
Wise words, friend. Wise words indeed.
Yeah, sometimes if you just say a thing backwards, it sounds like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's some more wise words for you. New segment, Tyler's wise words. There you go. Don't clip that out.
Too late.
Oh, man. Well, what else you got, man? What else is cooking over at Maxwell House?
I did a thing yesterday.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Hype.
Sony's got their Days of Play, I think they're calling it.
Spoiler alert, Nintendo fans, earmuffs real quick.
Yeah. Yep. I done traded my Switch in for a PlayStation VR.
Yep.
And I actually got a pretty good deal from GameStop too. The VR bundle, the Skyrim bundle, was $100 off. And then they had a thing I didn't know about where your game trade-ins are worth an extra 40% towards the PSN like store cards.
Oh, dang. Okay.
So, yep, I traded the Switch, Mario and Zelda for the Skyrim bundle and like $85 in store credit for the for the PlayStation Store.
Nice.
Pretty good. So we've been doing the VR around here.
It kind of makes sense for you. Like you were kicking this around the other day, and it was like, part of me wants to be like, you want to get rid of your Switch? What's wrong with you? But then I was like, it kind of makes sense for you. Like it makes sense.
I love
for
the hardware so much. Like I like so much about the Switch. Just
you don't like.
But yeah, there's not games for it that I want to play or coming really.
Or you've already played them all on PC.
Yeah, that's the other problem.
That's a big one.
Question, Brian. Would your opinion have changed if Virtual Console was an actual thing?
Probably not.
Just curious.
I still have ways to play those games if I really want to, and I don't really have the use case of playing it on the go. And like, I don't know, like Smash Brothers and Metroid and Pokemon. I'm not really into those, so
you might be looking at another 2 years before there's games that you're like super, super excited about for it. And
yeah, like there's gonna be another Animal Crossing, but I've played that game a few times now, and Stardew Valley eats Animal Crossing's lunch completely, so. But yeah, I miss it. But yeah, we've been doing VR. I bought SUPERHOT VR because
it's the most innovative shooter you've played in years.
It is. It's pretty much as cool as you think it is.
Did you finish SUPERHOT on PC?
I didn't.
You think you'll finish it in VR?
On the VR though.
Yeah, it's that good.
It's real cool, seeing the bullets coming at you and moving your body out of the way, and you can like duck behind a wall and like blind shoot over a wall. And
that's cool, man.
It's got some real neat stuff.
Brian, are you trying to buy PSVR?
Well, there's never been a better time. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, so SUPERHOT VR is.
What's that Skyrim bundle got?
It's real fun. It's got the 2 glowy dildo controllers. The PlayStation
trademark.
Controllers.
Those are trademarked. That's a official
show
name.
Title.
Show title. Yep.
That won't fly.
Yeah, it's got the headset, the camera, the 2 Move controllers, and Skyrim.
Oh boy, that sounds like something I might need to do.
You got that stupid Xbox.
Brian, you're not wrong, and I would love to get rid of it.
Not telling you how to live your life, but you should do that.
Sounds like you are.
Sounds like you are. Yeah, you pretty much are.
And
question.
Yes.
Does the rumors about a new PlayStation console that have been kind of floating around worry you at all with all the money you're investing into the PS4?
No, that's at least a couple of years away. And
yeah.
If I can get a couple of years of goodness out of this before then, that's fine. Because
I thought rumor on that was 2020.
I think so. I think that's the way it's starting to sound. But
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like there's always something new to wait for.
That's true. It's just a lot. It's a lot of money to invest into one platform, but so is a PC, so is anything really. So,
yeah.
And you never know the PS so the VR. How's that work exactly, Brian? Is that just like the headset, and then most of the rendering and stuff is done by the console, or is it all done on the headset?
You're asking the tough questions.
Because I'm wondering if, yeah, like Brian's invested now $250 into this VR headset, but is it something that if the console's doing the bulk of the work, does that just get? Are you going to be able to use that on the next one? Will they re-release?
Good question.
Or is
there's a pass-through box,
like the Move controllers, just sort of they drug them along from the PS3.
Yeah, maybe. I'd like to think so, but we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, there's like an extra box that you hook up, so like it goes from the TV to the pass-through box, then from the box to the PlayStation 4, and then the headsets hook up to the pass-through box.
Okay.
So it sounds like, yeah, it's probably happening on the PS4. It's getting displayed on your headset, but then also sending that signal to the TV. What sense? Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. The kids digging it.
Yep, the kids are digging it for sure. I get a harmonics music maker game, I think it's called. There's a lot of just like techno music, and you're sitting on a beach looking around and zooming in on like, I don't know, these like jellyfish and weird trippy visuals, and the kids like it a lot.
Try giving them any drugs first, see if it really just,
Oh, I've got to try that myself first before I
share
give it
with
to the kids. Yeah, what kind of parent do you think I am?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to at least try it. Make sure it's safe. Pretty good.
The VR game I spent the most time with so far is Moss.
Is that about trees and stuff?
Yes, it is, Tyler. It's a tree simulator.
Oh, you just see how much moss you can grow and then get cut down.
Simulator.
Roll the video, Tyler.
Here it comes. Oh, I see trees and moss, so confirmed.
Moss feels like a fairy tale story where you're watching a little mouse and you're kind of controlling the mouse and walking the mouse through the forest and fighting enemies, and it's got simple puzzles where you like reach into the environment and move things around and manipulate things.
Oh, he's like a little Reepicheep.
What is that word?
Okay.
Are we doing this again?
Is it like Snicky Snack?
Says, yeah.
No.
It's this Snicky Snacks, Tyler.
God damn it, you guys. From the Chronicles of Narnia. Isn't that the mouse? He's a little knight. Reepicheep. God damn it, you guys. Can you... Like, for all the shit I get for not watching certain movies or knowing books or whatever, we're 2 weeks in a row now where beloved classics, I'm the one throwing the reference out and nothing. You're killing me. Reepicheep is the thing.
Tyler, that's because you're throwing out references from the Chronicles of Narnia. We're talking about you haven't seen fucking Indiana Jones.
Or Baby Driver.
Does Indiana Jones have a mouse what wields a sword in it, Kring? Because Narnia does.
There are swords in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but that doesn't turn out well for the person who wields them. I've seen the clip.
That's true. Yeah, Tyler doesn't watch Indiana. Tyler's never watched Indiana
He's
Jones.
got one of them Alibaba swords, though. That's the problem. He's swinging that thing around. It's all dumb.
Are you like anti certain types of swords, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
It's known.
That's
a curved sword.
There's a hierarchy. Yeah.
Huh.
It's cruciform double-edged swords at the very, very top. And it just goes down from there.
So anyway,
Moss is a Reepicheep simulator.
Yes. This is my video that I recorded, and watching it on video does not do it justice by a long shot. Like, the visuals on this game are just incredible. Like, the 3D works here better than it does in anything else that I've played so far.
Gotcha.
I don't know. It's like you're looking down on it, and you can like train your head and look, in the nooks and crannies. Like, seeing this thing in 3D gave me a real just like sense of wonder that I haven't felt in a very, very long time. It's amazing, and I want you guys to be able to try it for yourselves.
All right, fine.
Crane,
Fuck it,
please.
Brian.
Tyler, look at the axe.
I saw it. Don't worry, I noticed it.
Best Buy is going to give me Best Buy has great financing offers. Do you guys know this? And so
sponsor us, Best Buy, I guess. I mean, shit.
I'm ordering it right now, Brian.
18 months, $5.99.
There you go.
I'm placing my order right now.
You should do that.
It's happening.
Moss is just incredible. It's gorgeous, and I love that little mouse to death. She's the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
I thought she was, like there's a point where she's looking up at me and she's waving, and she's doing this, and I reached down and high-five her.
Oh man, that's awesome.
It's goddamn adorable.
So you're kind of like you're using magic and stuff to like help help her through these levels and that sort of thing. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, like you've got the a PS4 controller and you're controlling her with the analog stick, just like a platformer.
Oh, okay.
But you're also looking around the environment, and there's some things that you can reach out and touch and grab and move with your hands.
Cool.
Yeah, it's great.
And so, like, when she runs up like that and gets an item, that's so cool. It's happening like right in front of your face, and that's pretty neat. Looks very cool.
Yeah, this is the like killer app so far for it that I've played. Like you can tell this was built for VR because some of the other stuff, like SUPERHOT was made as a PC game, not a VR game.
Right.
Skyrim VR.
Did you play
Skyrim VR?
Yeah.
Did you play Skyrim VR?
A very brief moment.
But
Like how brief?
Brian.
Yes, Kring. How can I help you?
Brian, it's Skyrim.
Is Skyrim that good though?
You're gonna break Tyler's heart. He's literally walking away.
I was rolling away.
Some might say it's the greatest game of all time.
Some would say that.
Yeah. I would
did
even
fire it
argue
up.
for it.
I was playing Moss. I played for about maybe half an hour, and I fired up a little Skyrim. The thing with the VR, like, it gets hot.
Yeah.
Like that thing. Yes, I'm like sweating profusely after like 20 minutes in that thing. And Skyrim was the first thing that made me feel a little bit dizzy at all. Because I've heard people be like, I get sick playing VR and I can't. And I haven't felt any of that at all. But the opening scene of Skyrim where you're riding in the cart, it's real cool in VR, even though like the visuals are kind of, it's a
dated, yeah.
Yeah, it's an old game and it looks it. But when that cart's rocking around and your body's sitting completely still, like my brain, the human brain does something.
So you got cart sick.
A little bit, because, it's like I'm looking at my environment and everything's moving and shaking around, but I'm sitting perfectly still. And
right.
It wasn't bad, but it was a little dizzy. So, like, now I'm dizzy and I'm sweating. I'm going to stop.
Well, so you didn't even get to the part where, like, you freed and running from a dragon or anything. Spoilers.
I didn't get... Tyler, please.
2011 Skyrim. I'm spoiling it all.
I got to the brink of the character creation, but it's just like, nope.
You need to refuel first.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the little night mouse statue. Oh God. Sorry.
It's wonderful.
It looks great.
It's wonderful.
Shout out to Vito hanging out in our chat, giving us the update on the Best Buy financing options. It's real good. Right now you can get 12 months at anything, 12 months interest free at anything $3.99 and up. So get on down to Best Buy and get yourself whatever they're calling their credit card these days.
VR.
So, yeah, I didn't get much time with Skyrim yet, but I'm going to, and I will report back.
Well, I wonder if that perspective will change. So your move controllers or your glowy dildos, as you so lovingly call them, they have analog sticks on them and buttons and stuff. So you're still or no? It's all just
buttons on them. There's no analog sticks. So for some games, you just use the regular old controller. For some games, you use the move controllers.
That's the thing I think would be really tough in Skyrim. Is I heard there's like different control methods. One where you kind of teleport around.
Right.
Another
I think
one,
there's a free move.
I don't think I could play Skyrim teleporting around and standing still.
That doesn't sound good.
That's really bad.
There are different options.
Gotcha.
Do those move controllers, Brian? Do they work like the Wii remote did? Like you swing it around and grab?
Kinda. Yeah.
So you're telling me, do
they have about playing SUPERHOT with those instead of a controller with analog sticks?
Gotcha.
Like you're waving your hands around and there's a trigger on it, so
that's how you pick things up.
Right.
So can you when you played in Skyrim VR? I know you said you played briefly. Do you use those like controlling swords and stuff?
I didn't get there, but I'm pretty sure it's.
I'm asking for Tyler, really. Like
your glow controllers are your hands, so
Yeah, I've seen stuff where you're like holding up a thing to block and you're swinging the sword with the other, and it's like one-to-one movement there.
SUPERHOT, by the way, is absolutely the game, the poster child for make sure there's no shit in your environment to crash into and knock around, because you will. I definitely bumped into the exercise machine a few times, swinging a sword at someone.
Yeah. You don't want your kids sneaking up on you lest they catch a glowy move controller right in the face.
You're a good man, Tyler.
Yep. I resisted.
And yeah, like there are some games where you can play with other people in the room that don't have the VR headset on. There's
gotcha.
one like haunted house, like little mini game where the person in the VR headset can't see the ghost in the room, but the people looking at the TV can. So you've got to shout, like,
oh, cool.
It's over there, it's over behind the plant. No, up, shoot, and they can't see.
Huh.
They're just listening to your directions and shooting. And
That's kind of cool.
There's some neat little mini games like that. Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
So yeah, so far so good.
Seems like that's cool that you've got something that you're getting some usage out of. It's not just a Switch that's sitting on a dock.
I did like the Switch. I love so much about it, but there's just nothing on the horizon. And we've been talking this week a lot about Nintendo and kind of how their games are for us versus our childhoods. And it's like you've said, Tyler, like Mario and Donkey Kong don't quite do it the way they once did for me.
Yeah, I found that I need like some really, really, really compelling gameplay or a really, really compelling story to get me through, most games these days. And yeah, I'm not faulting Nintendo for what
for sure.
Mario or Donkey Kong or Kirby or Yoshi are. Like, I think that it is very good that they're making those types of games. It's not what I'm looking for much anymore. So
you end up with bigger time constraints now than when you were a kid. You could have a game that was just solid and not necessarily had something that was unique or different to draw you in, and you would just play the crap out of it because it's what you had. But
and most games weren't trying to tell stories back then. It wasn't like, man, I wonder what's going to happen to Sonic next. Like, can't wait to get to the Emerald Tree Zone to find out or whatever.
Okay.
Oh, it's
Tyler.
I'm sorry,
Kring, what happens in the Emerald Tree Zone?
Knuckles broke down the bridge. How are we going to fix it? That Knuckles is messing us up, Tails.
Fuck you, Tyler. That was
a harrowing moment.
That was Angel Island.
I died that day, Tyler.
You fucking asshole. Get it right.
Those were my wings.
Kring already told me that I ruined Nintendo games for him. Now I'm going back and destroying his Sega childhood too.
Shining Force, though, Kring.
Yeah, there you go.
Can't take that away.
I can't take that from you. I'll try. I'll find a way.
No, you won't.
Anyway, boy. Hey, Luke, what have you been playing this week, brother?
Well, speaking of Nintendo.
Speaking of ruined childhood.
Yeah.
I played more Donkey Kong this week.
Little Donkey Kong, little Kong Country.
How far are you, Luke?
Halfway through the third world? No, I started the fourth.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Fourth world problems.
Luke over here power gaming.
No. Oh my god. Like, the only way to get through a level is to, like, brute force your way through it at this point. It's so fucking difficult.
Are there enemies that kill you, or jumps that are hard to make, or all of the above?
Yes. It's more jumps than anything. Like, there's a lot of, okay, I have to jump to this platform, and then mid-air, like, lightning will shoot down and just blow apart the platform, and you just fall to your death.
It's
like,
basically...
okay, I didn't expect that. So now I have to do, like, a longer jump to go across that platform to another one, and then make another jump, and then something else happens midair.
I've been noticing in my playthrough that it's really just a crusty ass old 90s platformer.
Do you have to memorize where things are going to hit you to a point?
Yes. Yeah, you really do. It's a lot of, okay, I've gotten a little bit further, so now I know what's going to happen. So now I get just a little bit further and a little bit further.
You mentioned something, I think, earlier in the week, Luke, where you're like, this game feels like it's meant to be speedran. And it's like,
is old whichever Kong that is he on a magic surfboard that appears under his feet in the air?
Well, I'll answer Tyler's question first.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, so that's kind of the thing, Tyler, is when you get going and you're doing like a run and a jump and then bouncing off an enemy and getting a coin.
Momentum.
And yes, when you get like an actual rhythm and momentum going, the game feels fantastic. But it's when you have any sort of doubt what's going to happen or a pause and you're sitting there and trying to like see what's going to happen and trying to do it, it seems to throw off everything in the game. And that's when it all just turns to shit.
It's like a chain reaction. You miss a jump, and then all of a sudden your whole flow gets interrupted. And
And there's like a it feels like the obstacles and things around like global timers and stuff, where if you slow down or screw up, like you completely throw off all of the timing for the rest of the level, and you're out of sync, and it ends up just being a slog fest.
I was watching some old after we talked about this, I wanted to look up some old Donkey Kong Country footage because it's been so long since I played those games. And there was a guy who he was doing a full playthrough, and he had everything down. It was like clockwork. He'd go through a level and get every single collectible just no problem. He's picking up barrels and chucking them and hitting dudes and jumping over them to hit the next thing. And it was really cool to watch somebody who knew the game, forwards and backwards to get through it there. So
yeah, and that's exactly it. It's like when you can get that sort of pattern down, it feels fantastic.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, Brian, that is Funky Kong.
Okay, Funky Kong's got a surfboard.
Yeah, that's the one that they should have had during the Kong Wars. I believe we talked about last week.
Yeah, if only.
Yeah.
But no, that's the cheat mode, child-friendly version of Donkey Kong that you can play.
He's doing kick flips and shit with that surfboard, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is that easy, or is that 20% easier kind of?
I don't know. I've never touched them. But
looks not about
all
that.
right.
I'm looking at the video. This guy.
I didn't mean to imply.
This guy has 5 hearts instead of 3, so that's already a shit ton more health. He can fly on this board that he has, so that's pretty cool.
He can
he can jump really high.
He can helicopter it too. He just does pop shove it forever until he lands on the ground. It slows him down.
Was he a double jump?
What does he do forever?
It's called a pop shove it, Brian. It's a skateboard trick. If you'd played a little Tony Hawk Pro
Grandpa.
Skater back in the day,
that's fine.
You'd know. Kickflip is when you spin the board around.
Kids when you pop shove it
long ways,
and when you kick to flip the board.
Yeah, but it's different. Like a kickflip's the skateboard does a barrel roll. A shove is when a skateboard does a 360. There you go.
Okay, there it is.
That's your skate lesson for the day.
I will say that this also, the boss battles, almost remind me a little bit of Dark Souls, and that you have to just get the pattern, the timing down 100%, and you'll end up dying 10, 15 times before you get that figured out.
There is a Viking ship in the background.
That is true.
Sorry, I couldn't unsee that for a second there.
That is true.
Is that the way the old games were, kind of? Or is this more difficult?
This is much more difficult than I ever remember.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've heard from a lot of people, that this thing looks all nice and, fruity, and I don't mean that in there's bananas everywhere. It's literally there's fruit.
Didn't have to be awkward, Tyler. It didn't have to be.
Well, Kring was here, and I knew that if I didn't address it, it was going to be. So,
right, get out in front of it.
Yeah, okay. I just figured I'd embrace what I had said.
Those penguins were driving that Viking longboat.
Well, see, the penguins are what froze the tropical island.
Oh, this is the
Yes.
Kong Wars 2 Penguin Boogaloo.
Penguin Boogaloo, yeah.
There's your show title.
writes
No,
itself.
I still want to go with glowy dildos.
Well,
as much as you want.
it's
Much as you want glowy dildos.
we've noted your request, and it will be processed in 7 to 10 business days.
Cream, did you play any of this game this week? I know you.
I did. I got through. I did a little bit. Got through all of the first world. And yeah, it's really hard. This game.
So what was the first boss in the first world? It was the seal.
Yeah,
I think it was the seal boss. That one was pretty fun.
Yeah.
There's the one that I just did. It was like 3 vultures or something, or 3 monkeys. But like they like swing from vines and have hammers that they swing and bombs. It's all sorts of messed up. So have fun on that one.
Monkey Kong seems like nigh invincible. He can stand on spikes because he's got a surfboard. He just stand on a surfboard. Man, just play Funky Kong. It seems like way easier.
Yeah,
Tyler, you just want to play Funky Kong because you want to do kickflips and pop shovels with your surfboard.
You nailed it. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Donkey Kong Edition. There you go.
Are there any other stupid skating words you can teach me?
There's lots.
There's a ton of stupid skater words.
How much time do you have?
I redact the question.
It's too late, Brian. You can't
teach you about some ollies and some nollies and some nose grinds.
Ollie's a thing. Is nollie a thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
It's when you do it off the nose of the board.
I don't want to know.
Which is the front.
I don't accept this. It's like Loonies and Toonies. It's just lazy.
Canadians, you're on notice once again.
Fine. We should call them by their long name. Is Nose Ollie. Is that better for you, Brian?
It's not.
You will regret this, Brian Maxwell. You will regret this.
You know what? Let's get off Brian's lawn.
Let's get off his lawn. Hey, what else you been playing, Luke?
Sailing the high seas a little bit.
Right back on his lawn. Right back on that lawn, though. Yeah,
we had some good times in Sea of Thieves again.
I don't think it's impossible for us not to. Well, I take that back. Kring and I had some not great times.
We had some not great times the other day where we just being on a sloop, and Tyler was like, we're not gonna shock and awe, we're not gonna go ramming right into the boat, we're gonna use the distance to our advantage, and they just kept sending waves of dudes at us, and Tyler and I could get like 2 of them, but they would always send 3, and both of us would end up dying, and it just wasn't good.
Yeah, I think the best part this week was this video that we're watching right now. We're at a Skull Fort, ship comes on in. Tyler, you have a barrel and blow yourself up right next to them, and I take another barrel, go on board, drop it right down next to their anchor, and shoot it. These stay on board.
These moments feel really good. Like you and I are working on this stronghold to get the loot out of it, and it's an arduous task on its own. And especially with only 2 players, like
Cream was there. It's 3-player. Oh, I know.
No.
It was just
it was just you and I.
We did. That's right.
And so like that's hard enough on its own, but then a galleon comes in with 4 people, and it's like, gosh, we have to sink these guys or we're never gonna finish this thing. And to have like this surgical level of execution happen was so satisfying. Like
dirty.
Absolutely
dirty.
We came up with this plan like on the fly. This thing's coming in. I'm just like, here, take this barrel. I'm gonna go grab another one. I suicide bomb myself into the bottom of their boat, and then you get on and just start tearing them apart. You detonate an explosive keg on their top deck and kill like 2 people. Another one runs below deck, and you put a shot in him and kill him, and the boat's sunk like that.
Keg nearly killed me. I had to chow down some bananas real bad.
Yeah, they had one straggler who made it to our boat, and we ended up killing him. It was real good.
I think the whole encounter was like 2 minutes or something from boat sailing into sunk.
Yeah, it was a good feeling. We got on last night and I ended up with 3 skull forts worth of loot by the end of it. That was pretty satisfying.
And we got one by sinking another boat.
Yeah.
We just saw them off in the distance and sailed up to them, and they didn't notice us coming up on them until it was too late. And
so
we were on their boat, and we're just like, oh, they've got some chicken coops and some pig crates, nothing really crazy here. And then all this stuff just starts floating to the surface.
I made it into their captain's quarter. I was like, guys, they have a lot of loot on this boat.
I thought it was sunk by that time already.
No, I was still on it. Like,
or did you not see the stronghold stuff until after?
It was because they had it all piled in one location. So I just saw a bunch of chests. But then once it came up that it was like actually had stronghold loot in it, that was pretty awesome. But we've been there's a thing on Reddit where if you head over to the Sea of Thieves subreddit, you can see people post these obnoxious pictures of their boat just full of treasure chests and loot. And we've been saying for a long time, like, man, why can we never find somebody who's trying to set up one of these Reddit posts and sink one of those boats? And it happened last night. We finally got it. And yeah.
The only shame is it seems like we got him a little early.
What do you mean?
Because
like,
they only had that like one
sure.
skull fort and some chickens on it.
Yeah.
Like that was
they were trying to do some requesting.
Like they were trying to do some requesting, so it would have been. I want to get one of those guys like right after they take that stupid fucking picture that they post to Reddit. I want to sink one of those guys and just
one of those like 100K boats or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I have 65 chests on board. Not anymore.
It'd be quite a prize. Yeah.
It's the Urca de Lima.
Yeah, I want that Urca gold.
Thieves continues to be a treasure trove of fun.
Heyo.
Yeah.
We got E3 this weekend and the Microsoft conferences tomorrow, and I'm expecting to probably see something from Rare.
They have confirmed
tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like all the conferences are tomorrow.
Oh, I thought they. Wait, did they stop doing E3 on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
I think there are things throughout the week.
Yeah, it's weird now. E3's weird
it seemed
now.
like all the gaming stuff was EA today, but all the other stuff is tomorrow.
No, Bethesda's tomorrow.
Yeah, Bethesda's like
Microsoft's
9:30
tomorrow.
Eastern.
Devolver tomorrow. Monday is Square Enix, Ubisoft, Sony. Tuesday's Nintendo.
Shut up! Wow, huh? Microsoft used to go on Mondays. Okay.
Yeah, E3 is weird now. There's not really like
Microsoft's like off-site, like they're not a part of E3. They're there, but they're not there.
I think Nintendo's like that too. I thought.
Yeah.
They do their Treehouse stuff, and they've got kind of their own deal. Yeah. It's like a month-long thing, and everyone just kind of does their own thing, and yeah, it must be really fun to cover that if you're an actual journalist. That must be just real great.
I don't know. If you have to cover it, you have to be at the EA conference, and
yeah, it wasn't great.
We'll talk about that next week. Spoiler alert, it was bad.
It wasn't great.
It's a far cry from what it used to be. You know,
yeah.
Everyone can just tune in and watch the streams and get the news on their own as it goes live or moments later.
Right.
I used to remember like waiting with bated breath for that E3 Game Informer issue to come through back in the early 2000s, back before like all of this stuff was known right off the rip, and just waiting for that issue, reading it cover to cover.
Yeah. They just to bring it back into Sea of Thieves times, they did say that they're going to tease the next event. Like they're putting together teaser trailers for, what is it, the Forsaken Shores and Cursed Sails, I think is the other one.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I think we'll see little teasers for those. But
Cursed Sails is a ghost ship.
It very well might be.
Come on, it's gonna be.
You heard it here first. Kring called it. Ghost ship Coming
Go
to the
ship
curse
curse
sales. There you go. Hot takes.
They're supposed to have cursed cannonballs at some point, so that's probably when we'll see those.
Yeah.
Yep.
Should be neat. Oh, you play anything else this week, Luke?
Nope, just those two.
Kring, what about you? You got anything else in the bag?
I played the same things as Luke.
Okay, all right.
It's got a 2-for-1 there.
The only other thing that I played a little bit of Moonlighter, and then I was real jealous of something that's coming out. I can't remember. Everyone was talking about the Switch, and so I fired mine up, and I wanted to see what was new, and I came across this game called Pokemon Quest.
Mario Tennis Aces.
I don't care about that even a little bit. But I saw. Oh, Kring, you said something. Oh, he's not listening.
listening.
That's
He's
fine.
gone.
That's for the best.
Yeah, just leave it.
He said something about a Pokemon game that looked good, and this isn't it. It can't be it, because not only does this not look good, but it is not good. Pokemon Quest appears to be.
No, I said that a mainline Pokemon would look good.
Yeah, and I think there is one.
And there's one coming,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not gonna be till like end of next year or something. Like
Yeah,
that.
well,
I
this
think
one.
it's holiday season of this year.
Oh, I forgot to switch the video back, didn't
Is
I?
it that early?
I thought so.
Transition.
Talking about the Pikachu and Eevee one?
I'm talking about like an
Heard those
actual
words.
Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing. Well, anyway, here's Pokemon Quest, and it's here now. You can play it right now if you wanted to, but you probably don't, because what it is it appears to be like one of those idle clicker games, kind of. Like
What?
you just
Yeah.
like the game kind of just plays itself.
All right.
I think,
Do
or
the
at
numbers
least,
get bigger?
at least has the option to. From what I can tell, it takes place on a basically Minecraft island where everything's made of cubes. And that's explained because you're going to Cube Island or something like that.
No,
Do the numbers get bigger?
The numbers do get bigger, yeah.
All right. Just cut out all the other bullshit in between and just let me watch the numbers get bigger. It's all I really want.
Basically what you do, like you don't catch new Pokemon by throwing balls at them, which already not interested. But instead you have to cook food for them and then they show up at your camp.
Time out, Tyler. Is this basically just a mobile phone game on
Yes.
Switch? Okay,
Yes.
then you know what? You don't have to talk about this anymore. We can move on.
Can you hire trainers to level up your Pokemons for
Brian,
you?
don't ask him questions.
Oh,
Brian.
there's lots of microtransactions because you need to have
Alright.
tickets to speed up your
I
cooking.
can reduce that wait time.
You can reduce that wait time if you want to just drop a little
Alright.
bit of money on it.
Yeah, that's not your best value though.
Well, you
So
gotta
how much money did you spend on this?
only
Good
like
question.
$300 or $400. Like it was
Okay.
pretty. Yeah, I tried to rein
Did
it
you
in.
catch them all?
No, sadly, spending the money doesn't actually catch you the Pokemon. It gives you the sense of pride and accomplishment that you get
Okay.
from catching them yourself by luring them in with delicious foods. And I'm happy to report that I'm well on my way to catching them all. No, I played this for maybe. I played longer than I should have. Let's just put it that way.
Because you fired it up?
Yeah, I think at the end of this video, I'm gonna fast forward here a little bit. I started getting messages about like, here you can just go buy some PM tickets if you want, and then it gives you the option to give up, and I clicked yes, and I'm pretty sure right after this you watch me uninstall it. So that's
Played
what
until I got off the toilet.
I was at my PC down here recording footage like a diligent little Pikachu. Yep, there it goes.
Does look pretty
Uninstall and delete. So there you go. I
Really
saved you a
Fucking up
click.
those birds.
Saved you a click.
Those box birds.
Yeah. Squirtle throws all kinds of tornado waters at them, and Pidgeys do
Squirtle.
gusts. And, yeah.
I could probably name like 4 Pokemon. I think you just named 2 of them.
I did do that. I can name lots of them.
Charizard.
Let's see how many.
Lizard Neck.
How many coming in at number 2? It's Lizard Neck.
Burbly Boop.
Yep, that's one. That's one.
What about that? Where there's that video. Where
This is the show now. Nope, this is the show now. Brian, what's your next Pokemon?
Flashcards, Tyler. Put them up on screen for him. Show him pictures.
Should
and
I just-
have him name 'em.
Oh.
Should I just blind Google Bibbledy Boop and see what happens?
Hey, I saw Songbringer on there.
Yeah. That's a game that I almost bought.
Was that a demo?
Nope. Apparently you can download DLC for it without owning the game. So I did that.
Okay.
Part of
Oh,
me
that
thought
worked
like maybe I could trick it and think like, oh yeah, let me just play the DLC.
Stranger things have happened.
Bibbledy Boop. That's Bibbledy
Bibbledy Boop.
Bob. That's not the right kind of thing. That's terrifying. This is nightmare fuel. Oh my god, what have I done? I'm in a hole.
You're going to the parts of the internet that you should not be.
Okay, sorry. This is a fool's errand.
I can't follow you.
All right, let's just switch back here. Here we go.
You're breaking my heart.
Anyway, where were we?
I was asking about Songbringer.
Oh yeah,
Songbringer?
that game looks really neat. I
I saw it in the store.
I'm not ready to buy it yet, but it looks really neat.
That was my take. I'm just like, if that goes on sale cheap enough, I might try it.
Yep. That's kind of where I'm at. I've heard it's a Zelda-like game
Yeah.
that involves music and
Swords.
swords. So
So, yep.
sold. But, yeah, I'm keeping my eyes on it. I think I was in there looking. I almost pulled the trigger on the Mega Man collection, but it's like $25 or something like that, or more.
How many bucks does it have to be before you pull the trigger?
I thought that it included all of them. There's 2 separate collections. One of them is the first 6 Mega Man games that came out on the NES, and which is cool. But then they also have the like newer-ish ones. I think it's 7, 8, and 9, and 10, or maybe there's not a 10 yet. I can't remember. Anyway, and that's a separate collection. I want to say the one is like 25, the other one is like 15.
They weren't both bundled together as one?
I no, and at least I couldn't find them that way. I thought they were. So if that was like one game for $25, I had to pull the trigger on it, but it's not.
Yeah,
That might be
especially for
one of those.
graphics.
That might be another case of, after the nostalgia wears off, I don't know if I want to be playing Mega Man now.
It's one of those where I could, I could fire up an emulator and get my fix probably, and not need to have that portable.
Especially to get them all for $40 is like, that's a steep price to pay for just Mega Man. When
Games I already bought 20 years ago.
Yeah, when previous like they have like the Genesis collections that'll come out on consoles for like $30-$40, and they'll have like 65 games on them instead of this is just Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to hear Mega Man 2's music again. That game had the best damn music for an NES.
Well, you probably just fire up YouTube and do that.
Brian, honestly, all the Mega Man music is so good. Like it doesn't get worse.
They got mileage out of those those midis.
Yeah, for sure. The NES is capable of some surprisingly good music. Like if I've gone down a couple YouTube rabbit holes where I found some really cool stuff for like really random games. There's one out there. It's just like it's like a pinball game or something, and it's got just banging music. I gotta find that. If I find it, we'll put it in the show notes. But yeah, good stuff out there. Well, I think that's going to finish up what we've been playing, guys, unless I missed something. Nope, looks good. So, why don't we go ahead and get on into news. Boop, 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 boop. It's the news, and hey, we got some of it. Games Done Quick Express. Luke, what's Games Done Quick Express?
This is kind of their trying to get into like little mini charity events. So this one is running in October at TwitchCon. So
That's
it'll be
cool.
a 3-day event, and charity is gonna be, I don't know. I don't know if it's in the article or not. But yeah, it is gonna be for charity again. TwitchCon Charity Plaza. Exact
Have they-
details are to be announced later.
Have they strictly been doing just the 2 events every year?
For the most part,
Or
they had
they
a
do
few
little-
one-offs. So
Gotcha.
like they had the Hurricane Harvey relief one that they just
Mm-hmm.
came up with for a weekend that raised quite a bit of money for that. And they had one other a few years before that. I can't remember what it was for. Yeah, primarily it's just the 2 a year. But
Just the
I know
2
they-
like schedule events.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a really hard thing to put together with logistically the amount
I'll
of
bet.
people and resources that they have to get together for that.
Yeah.
It's
A
it's not an
week-long
easy thing to
event
do.
That's 24/7.
Yeah.
That's difficult to do. You're talking announcers, people doing charity events, the streamers, the people that set up the games, the AV people. That's tough to do.
Yeah, you're talking hundreds of people involved, and you have to set this up in a specific location and get people to get there. And it's not an easy thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like a 6-month thing that they do. Once they finish one, they go right into the next. But so this is kind of cool. I think they said at the last GDQ that they were looking to do these a little bit more often, just little small pop-up ones. So yeah, I think it's cool. More charity events, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, the better they get at being able to just spin up one of these and drop it in there, the better. So, good stuff.
Yeah, so far there's no games announced, no streamers announced, players, so that'll all come later. But
I'm sure they won't have trouble getting people ready to go for that.
well, it's gonna be at TwitchCon, like so
yeah,
it's already gonna be like all the big streamers are there anyway, so that's perfect.
yeah,
Like,
for
it's
sure.
actually a pretty clever idea. You don't have
Is
to fly
Whitwick's
in.
is Whitwick's gonna run Bashi? And if not, I won't tune in.
Well, hopefully he will.
We can dream. And hey, speaking of dreaming, Blizzard's got
a reality.
Their dreams are reality. Unannounced project here for Diablo coming from the Blizzard. They're looking for a dungeon artist. So hey, if you know any, tell them to apply now, because working on a new Diablo game would be a real good way to do that. Are you okay, Kring? You doing all right over there?
I'm drawing out a dungeon real quick.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to
That's good.
Put that in your portfolio.
I'm trying to get a portfolio together here so I can go work for Blizzard.
Hey, you're gonna be in California soon. You can
So
drop by
Yeah,
their
just drop it
Irvine
off.
office and see what you can do.
Tell them you hate Diablo.
That should help.
What I want to do is like, why are you interested in working at Blizzard?
And WoW.
So Tyler can't.
To be
This
like,
doesn't actually come out and
that
say
sounds
that
pretty
it's
good.
for a new game, just an unannounced project.
That's a good point, Luke. This could just be the next, expansion or add-in content or something. But a whole project does kind of, I don't know. Maybe it's a Diablo mobile game. Maybe I'll have to eat a fucking gun at the end of this podcast.
It's a Diablo endless clicker. Yeah.
Hear me out.
I mean, hey.
It's Minecraft styled Diablo.
Okay.
Everything's cubes, and
No,
you just
no,
y-
no.
Your sword is just cubes stacked
No.
on top of one another.
yeah.
It's Diablo Battle Royale.
Set in the
100
Wild
Diablos.
West.
Drop into a dungeon. Yeah.
That could work. I could.
Guys, we're on to something.
That could work.
You're slaying monsters and getting loot, and then meet up with the other players. You have, you got your loot,
The
got your swords.
the minions of hell just keep coming in and circling you. Yeah, it gets smaller and smaller and forces you into a. We can finally get Diablo PvP, which people have been asking for forever. back in the thing.
Take this stream off the internet because we cannot let these ideas get out there.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. Cut the power to the building.
I'm emailing Blizzard right now.
No, I just don't want to get like all excited that hey, there's a new Diablo coming out when it's not announced. They
Well-
frequently add new dungeons to Diablo 3 like every like ladder season, it seems like. There's
Come on,
new
Luke.
small little areas.
Have fun.
It's just
it's
smile
setting
for me.
realistic expectations.
It's the new Diablo tower defense game, Luke. That's what it is.
Can you
I
call it?
love tower defense games.
I kind of do too.
Can you call it? Can you call it an unannounced project if it's on your website? Isn't it now? Isn't it an announced project? Like, is that like? It's not like this is on some 4chan, page or something. It's on. You go to careers.blizzard.com to get here. I think that's kind of a way of announcing, isn't it? I don't know the lingo here. I'm just out of my element.
I think like if they keep adding more and more people to this unannounced project, they're like voice actors for unannounced projects.
Yeah, maybe they'll have an announcement at BlizzCon.
This is right about
They almost have to.
This is right about the time where somebody updates their LinkedIn profile to include that they worked on,
Right.
Diablo 4, and then people post screenshots
Right.
of it to the various outlets, and yeah, we're like right there. So we'll see.
This is all
we'll know
just
soon.
leading up. This is just PR leading up to BlizzCon.
Yeah,
The
well,
spot's already been filled. This is just the leak.
Yeah, what if
So
there was
cynical.
no job opening at all?
What if it's all just a big ruse so that they can not announce a Diablo project? Oh man, that'll really get us.
This is all just a simulation anyway.
I hope it's called Diablo 76.
It's basically Rust, but it's Diablo,
and it's a
which
base
I would
building
play as
Diablo
well.
game?
A base building Diablo game, tower defense.
Oh, hey,
Would
you know
Luke
what?
ever play anything else?
Well, let's
Probably
see.
not.
Speaking of things that are unannounced, Fable 4 is
What?
happening according to everyone except Microsoft.
There's someone at Microsoft right now just being like, "Are we working on this?"
Yeah, this is a cool article because it's like Fable 4 is coming, and then there's an article that's like, yeah, rumors are that Fable 4 is coming and that the studio making Forza Horizon is making it. And then
That
there's a
Makes
tweet.
no sense.
There's a tweet out there that kind of confirms this from, like, I guess one of the original Fable devs, where he's like, yep, I know who's working on Fable 4, and that's interesting. So people have, come to make that as like confirmation. I think it's Phil Spencer has a tweet in here that says nothing to announce right now, but I do think the IP has a lot of places it could go. That's from April 30th, 2017. So
Breaking.
I don't know why this article got updated 2 days ago. I can't really find anything new in here, but
Is it just it's E3 and we're looking for shit
here we
to
go.
stir?
Let's get this going on here. Oh, you know what? Here it is. They did say, I don't want to bury the lead here. I guess we can work this one in here, but recently announced Crackdown 3 delay. I think that has fueled the fire that maybe they're cooking up other stuff here. Because
Does Microsoft only have one fucking studio, like, that works on games at all? Like,
no, they have
one
several. That's the thing I don't understand. They
why would a Crackdown delay have anything to do with Fable 4? They would be completely different teams and studios.
I think what they're saying is they gotta have something, right?
It's called Sea of Thieves. Why would you play anything else from Microsoft right now?
They are sure lucky they've got you hooked with that game, because yeah.
No, they're gonna have. I think they're supposed to have. Rumor is there's gonna be Halo announced. There's gonna be Halo stuff there. There's gonna be another Forza Horizon game coming this year. Like, that's the schedule that they hit. They've hit that the last 6 years. Like,
Is it time for another Gears?
Yeah, it's time for another Gears of War game to come up soon. So, like, they've got their stuff churning. It's not like Crackdown's gonna break them.
It's the same
Obviously,
stuff.
I mean,
obviously
okay.
they don't care about selling games anyway because they don't fucking make anything.
I'm taking my bias and my love for Sea of Thieves out of this. that game has been moderately successful for them, but nowhere near what other developers see when they release a huge game. So they had to kill Scalebound earlier this year, which was a big exclusive. I believe it's called Scalebound. So
yeah,
right?
I think it was last year
or end of last year, something like that.
Yeah,
it was a big platform exclusive that they were touting for a minute and killed it. Right? Sea of Thieves came out, mixed reviews. Right? Like, not everybody loves that game. Some people love it a lot, but not everyone loves that game. Crackdown was like the thing. It was like,
they've been
hey, at least we got Crackdown, guys.
This that always felt like a really good surprise, like a good B tier game, and like, wow, this is actually decent. I don't see it as like a big
never felt like a
AAA. Yeah,
Crackdown was the thing that we bought because when you bought Crackdown, you had access to the Halo 3 beta, and so that's why anybody ever bought Crackdown. When it
Speak for yourself.
Was that the one that was announced last E3? They had Terry Crews.
Yes.
Like jumping off a building or something.
Yep.
And then never talked about again.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, delay that.
Well, apparently it's been confirmed for February, so it's not been delayed a lot, but still.
It's been a few times now.
The entirety of the Xbox One has felt like just one giant delay of games. Like they're delaying everything until the next one because they figured out that they fucked up this console or something. I don't know. It's really weird that
I'd heard the issue with Crackdown was like the multiplayer. I don't know, like the way they were doing the multiplayer in the cloud, and I don't know, like tracking all the different movements and everything on everyone's system at the same time. I heard there was problems with that system.
Also, it wasn't a battle royale, and they had to get time to work that in, I'm sure.
Right, I had to fix that.
Yep.
Tyler,
you are probably not wrong.
I believe that over the tracking between systems.
Because the tracking
that's
between
been figured out for fucking ever.
Yep.
That's what I'd heard when it got delayed for the first time like a year and a half ago.
Right. Because they couldn't have gone to the teams that did Halo 5 or the Master Chief Collection or Gears of War 4 or Gears of War, whatever this last one was, to figure that shit out.
Yeah. This is blind people explaining things to each other, but
I think I get what you're saying there,
it was
though.
different in some way, like they were doing the multiplayer different in some way, and then that wasn't working out.
At first listen, it does sound like. Did you guys know that like painting textures is fucking hard? I get how that can come off as like, what are you talking about? We know how to track player movement in multiplayer games. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Luke. Yeah, so I guess we'll see.
It's easy for me to say that sitting here.
Right.
Well, I mean, it is easier for you to say, but they're like, this is the first I've heard of any other multiplayer game saying something like that. Like that, just weird.
Make the game better now.
Just do it quicker and
stop
having trouble.
Do it. Just do it and get it right. But I much more find it easier to believe that, we didn't include the hottest new trend in video games in our game, so we need to add that.
Crackdown doesn't scream battle royale game to me.
Does Battlefield 5 scream battle royale game to you?
I'll be honest,
that's what Battlefield has been, basically.
Yeah. It's more formally that now, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been large multiplayer.
Yeah. It has been. I just think we're going to see a lot of that over the next year or two here.
I feel it's kind of like MOBAs where a whole bunch are going to come around and then 2 or 3 are going to be left standing.
Do you guys remember the Lord of the Rings MOBA that came out? No? There was one, yeah.
A MOBA?
Yep.
How long did that last? 3 weeks.
I own it, apparently.
Of course you do. Doesn't surprise anyone.
Are the servers still online? I don't know, because I played it once. I don't remember if I actually got into a match or not.
Was this before or after you've played Heroes?
God, before I got real into it, I think. I can't
More
remember
importantly, was
the
this
timelines.
before or after
Mucky.
the Hobbit movie?
After.
Oh,
boy.
Luke.
Okay.
That was part
Why
of
does it
why
hurt
I
so much?
because it was real. The Hobbit movies are just I'm gonna try that word again. Unapologetically garbage. There we go. I said it. Hey, let's end on some good news though. It turns out Apple heard me crying about this on the internet, me personally, so you're all welcome. And they went ahead and changed their rules about streaming apps on their platform. And now there's a chance that the Steam Link app could return and be authorized on iOS.
Wait, a chance that it could. Okay.
So the reason that they stated,
No.
well, no, the reason that they rejected it before was they said that they had it had to do with their business model. They had a strict platform of like
Right.
anything.
Being able to buy games through Steam's app.
Right. So
Yeah.
there was some language in there that was like, technically we have to reject this. They've changed that now to explicitly state that as long as the purchase still happens on a different device, if it's happening like on your desktop PC, then
Gotcha.
it's cool.
Mhm.
Because you're still just streaming that information to, it's a mirroring service at that
Well,
point.
the other, I guess, yeah, okay.
Because if it were taking place in the app, if you were purchasing stuff through the app itself, it would be subject to Apple's like 30% cut or whatever they take from those sales. So,
but that's weird. It doesn't make any sense to me because Apple's not like Steam and Apple sell you different things. Like Apple, you're not
Right.
buying the same sorts of games that you would buy on iOS that you're going to buy on Steam. That's okay.
Yeah, just if you're buying something, through the like on an Apple device that you got in the Steam or on the Apple Store, Apple wants a cut from that.
You want 30%? Oof.
Yeah. It's I don't know the exact numbers, but it's
numbers.
something like that, yeah. It's steep.
I think 30% is on the light side, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so anyway, it sounds like it'll have to get resubmitted, but should go through now because they changed the wording around. It sounds like specifically to allow that. So good job, Apple. I don't suddenly want to sell my phone and get an Android phone quite as bad now. So there you go.
I mean, you still do, but just not as bad.
Just not as much.
A little bit. Yeah. Well, hey, you know what that means? The news is done. So you know what that means. It's time for this. It's a topic. It is a topic, and this week's topic, of course, is hey, if you could live in any game world, what would it be?
I'm gonna take the lead on this. I'm gonna go with Skyrim for the sole purpose of making Tyler come up with something on the fly.
Defend your position.
He's gonna be deterred.
Defend my position? No, it wouldn't be Skyrim.
I want to go after Crane.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there.
No, mine would honestly be GTA because it's pure chaos, and I would like to live in that world.
Kring, you would be dead in 5 seconds in the world of GTA.
I would, and it would be sweet
All
release.
right. I want to live in Devil Daggers.
Yeah. Just kill me as quick as possible.
18 seconds. Out.
Dark Souls. Let's go. Yeah, Skyrim you'd think, but like I don't really want to fight a dragon. I don't think my odds would be that great.
Yeah, but Tyler, you would be modding that so that you're not Dragonborn.
Alternate start.
Yeah, you would have alternate start on.
You didn't say I could include mods, okay? Now my answer is Skyrim. That's a loophole. I didn't know that was a possibility.
Yeah, but then you'll take an arrow to the knee. Someone will steal your sweet roll.
Yeah, but if it's alternate start, he's not an adventurer.
Memes.
He's like a necromancer.
It's just memes all the time. Yeah, what I really need is a mod that lets me do IT support for medical practices within Skyrim, and then
Boy, that'd
my
be the
life would be complete. I could just have my own little workstation, you know, right outside of Riften. I wouldn't put any windows in it because God forbid I see any beautiful scenery. And
Have your sword on the wall behind you.
just to remind me of the days that once were.
Tyler Everett, the Nord network technician. The great big beard.
Tyler Graybeard, IT support. Yep. Yeah. And then I just download the cyanide pill mod for Skyrim and take that. Thanks, Bethesda.
This is a fun topic.
This went not the way I thought it would.
Tyler wants to get a cyanide pill. I'm dreaming of living in GTA so I can die quickly.
The topic this week is actually, which video game world do you want to die in? Not live. Brian, how dark is your fantasy?
Nope. I'm going.
Oh, sorry. Luke, how dark is your fantasy?
I'm picking Stardew Valley.
You motherfucker.
Yes. Redemption for the last topic.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Taking the portal gun, you asshole.
I'm gonna go full circle and say that I want to live in Portal. There you go.
Would you? You want to be a test subject?
I could portal myself anywhere.
I'm gonna be GLaDOS.
Boots.
Yeah, those cool boots. I could jump. I wouldn't take fall damage.
Yep, no fall damage.
I got pretty.
Stardew Valley is probably like the most peaceful game world I could imagine. So
Yeah, there's no real threats if you don't want them. You just bang a blue-haired chick down by the grocery store and grow some pumpkins.
This is oddly specific, Tyler.
You guys didn't.
Rocks at Linus's tent.
Yeah.
if
Slap
you
his
farm, you can go fishing. You just go to town and hang around.
catch his little raccoon mitts digging through the trash and slap him and tell him get on out of there. Go on, get back to your tent.
Yeah. So Brian, what's yours?
It's still Stardew Valley.
Okay.
Will not be swayed.
Fuck you, Luke. You're not taking this from me.
Plus, I don't have a backup answer at all.
Yeah. Stardew Valley is a solid choice. Having to see the world in 16-bit though, I don't know, that might get old. You have to. I mean, for those graphics, you're gonna live the rest of your life in there. I don't know.
Would it be actually 16-bit? Because like, I'm imagining it being like a Lego Dimension sort of thing where it becomes not 16-bit anymore.
I don't
Well, at the
know.
very least, you get used to it.
Do get used to it.
You'll adapt.
Doesn't
You
get
can
better.
used to a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I think that is the logical conclusion of that bit there. So yeah, there we go. Thanks for tuning in this week, everybody.
Peaceful games, and two of us just want to die quickly.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, you know what? Thanks for tuning in to episode 80 of Questlog. You can find our show at questlogcast.com. You can follow us on Twitter at questlogcast. You can find Visitors music at visitor.bandcamp.com. Brian, Luke,
Yeah, man.
Kring, me.
Yep.
We're all here. We're here doing this every week for you. Won't you join us next week? We'll be talking about some video games. We may have a special guest that I don't know if I can announce yet.
Oh.
But filling in Kring's spot might be somebody pretty cool.
Tyler's gonna
Just throwing.
use my VR headset and get it all sweaty.
Oh yeah, I get to borrow Kring's PS4, so I'll get to play God of War. So you get to hear about that too. So lots of cool stuff happening.
E3?
Yeah, go ahead and follow us on Twitter. I think I already mentioned it. It's at QuestLogCast, but I'll as soon as I can share more information about our guest, I will do that. But yeah, good stuff coming. Catch us next week. Thanks for joining. We will see you next time.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Take care.
Good night, everybody.